Well done, guys. And we've just heard that Julie Gillard will be holding a doorstop interview at 11:20, I think, this morning, Eastern Standard Time. So the name Joel Fitzgibbon might come up. You might remember Dan Quayle once went before a bunch of school kids and misspelt potato. Tony Abbott had a sort of a Dan Quayle moment when he was attempting to give a history lesson this week.
Where is Latin spoken these days? You don't know? No, it's not actually spoken. Where is it spoken?
Europe.
Well, that's a very good thought. It is. The only place where Latin is regularly spoken these days is the Vatican, because it's the official language of the Church, the Catholic Church.
Which is in Europe. You got it right.
He's too critical.
OK, final observation?
Well, still on Tony Abbott, one of the great and bewitching aspects of the last couple of weeks is the entire transformation of Tony Abbott's attitude to the Fair Work Australia organisation and report. Remember a couple of months ago, it was on an industrial go-slow, it was running a protection racket of Craig Thompson and this government. This week it's been that meticulous, that forensic and entirely believable Fair Work Australia report.
Andrew?
Well, I thought that after such a grim and horrible week in Parliament, it's nice to have a parallel universe, which is the economy, and we should be the happiest we've ever been in Australia. We have the best quality of life, according to the OECD, $500 billion worth of mining investment. We are the safest place to invest in the world, and we have the lowest interest rates ever on Australian government bonds. So it's a kind of a reality check to what has been a pretty ordinary week. Australians would say, well, you don't have to live here. Dennis?
Well, I'll have a counter-reality check. During the time I've been watching politics from the Vietnam War sort of onwards, every major political controversy and big political battle has usually inspired people to get involved in the political process one way or the other. People would take sides and they would, sort of get in there. The current one is just turning the whole nation off, and people are running a mile from politics. I think, people need to think about that impact as well.
Now, remember those Obama mugs that they were selling in Parliament House, and they were pulped because they had 2 R's in Barack. They got to the bottom of that at a Senate Estimates Committee hearing this week. They've destroyed the evidence.
Senator, the mugs were destroyed into fragments, and that was done on site. And they were then disposed of on site into a planned concrete pour.
They ended up in a concrete pour. It's got a touch of the mafioso about it, doesn't it, Senator Hogg?
The last thing we wanted was for the fragments to be found on a garbage tip somewhere.
So who came up with the mafia-style execution for the mugs, by the way? I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but I recall a conversation. It's creative, I'll give you that. You haven't buried any other mistakes in concrete, have you, Mr. Kenny, perchance?
No, Senator.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Right, there you go.
Mugs.
Our Texas at work. And the Prime Minister, of course, caught up with Barack Obama during the week, and he is a real schmoozer. Danish television did some work this week, did some research, and they discovered that he really does say the right thing to everybody. We'll leave you with that. Thanks for watching. Bye.
That's fairly typical of the way that Danes have punched above their weight in international affairs. I've said this before, but I want to repeat. Norway punches above its weight. We have no stronger ally than the Netherlands. They consistently punch above their weight. Ireland punches above its weight. It's a small country. The Philippines is not the largest of countries. In using a phrase from boxing, punches above its weight. Poland is one of our closest and strongest allies. Israel is one of our strongest allies. We have no stronger ally than Australia.